gosh. I'm so excited. Tonight we're going to celebrate our kids, their musicality, their perseverance, their patience. We haven't had 100% attendance for rehearsal any single day all year. Every class period somebody's been gone, sometimes for a few weeks. Some weeks we only have one class period because of the rotating schedule. And some weeks we have 3 rehearsals, just depends. So creating the feeling of consistency and flow this year has been a huge challenge, and I'm so proud of what the kids have been able to do. The third band out tonight hasn't practiced since last Tuesday. Our goal this year was to build skills and provide performance opportunities. Our students have focused on marching skills in the fall, sight reading, simple and compound rhythms this winter, and performance-based skills this spring. Tonight you're going to hear a few pieces from each of our 3 bands. One would be a festival piece, and the others are new for this concert cycle. It's been really therapeutic for us all to be together and play music every day. So thank goodness we have had this. So many kids across the world have just not this year. So I have a few thank yous. Can you imagine? First, a huge thank you to my colleagues. Chris Chapman, whose sound design for tonight and swing out and graduation has been incredible. He's been the one that's responsible for sewing all of our videos together and getting those on the school website for you to watch. So you had opportunities to see what your kids were doing this year, even if it was virtually. It's just amazing. Jen Radke helped with our program for tonight and tickets. She helped me this fall with the cleaning protocols and so forth, so we could really get things safe for your students. Just amazing. Jackie Soul with our tech support. Our middle school band director, Joe Radke, is sitting in tonight for a sick trombone student. Jenny Allen, my middle school orchestra teacher, and Andrew Sampson, my high school choir director. We have just been such a great team all year, bouncing ideas off of one another and sharing ideas. And I see my other colleagues out there. I see Katie, I see Joy. I'm not sure if Emily's out there too, but the K-12 music department just rocks. And we still like each other at the end of this year. We just haven't had any arguments. It's just been so great to solve the thousands of problems that sort of present themselves every day. Just huge. And a huge thank you to our administrators, Mrs. Van Houten, Dr. Leiter. They asked me, how can we make this happen? And trusted my research and provided the funds and made it possible for us to have live music in the schools this year when some of my colleagues are just now playing for the first time because they can be back outside. So a huge thank you to all of those guys. Thank you. We were also lucky enough this year to host another student teacher. I've had a dozen over my time here in Greenville. Shoda Minsky. Mr. D is a graduate of Walled Lake Western High School and was one of the top trumpet players at Michigan State University. Just graduated a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. So he's here tonight to finish out his student teaching experience and will conduct with each of the bands. He's also sitting in on trumpet. And a special thanks to his parents who've driven over from Walled Lake tonight to see their son do something, because they missed out on all of his college senior year too. So I'm really glad you're here tonight. So seated before you is our junior varsity band. It's mostly 9th grade students, but we have a number of upperclassmen that join the class because they need an extra credit or they, for some reason, want to hang out with me for another hour a day. Which I don't think they realized was going to be 100 minutes each class period when they signed up, so that's 200 minutes a day of Mrs. Gould, oh my gosh. We're going to work on the music of Randall Standridge this year. He's a fairly new composer to the band scene within the last decade. He's really known for writing great middle-level pieces and marching band pieces, so you're going to hear a lot of really driving rhythms. This piece that we're going to play is supposed to be in 5 movements. We're going to do 3. And it's sort of symbolic music for our time. It's based on the Dies Irae, which is the Latin song for the dead from the funeral mass. You'll hear it in Star Wars, and you'll hear it in Carmina Burana and some of these other famous sort of pop classical crossovers. It's even Carol of the Bells. Ding da da dum, ding da da dum, Dies Irae. It's the same tune. So it's everywhere. You'll hear it forever. So he took that theme and wove it through all 5 of the movements. The second movement we're going to play, or the first movement's a march. Second movement's called the Queen's Mask. Had to do it. And then the closer is the Escape from Darkheart Castle. So lots of fun music. I'm going to have them play just a couple notes, and we're going to get started with our junior varsity band.
Might take a bit, it's pretty windy. your car.
You know, one of our challenges at band camp every year is to see if we play loud enough to set off the car alarms that are in the parking lot. So I guess mission accomplished. With a little support from Mr. Chapman's extra fabulous miking system for tonight. Before we continue, I want to just move along with this is sort of a band concert / awards event tonight. So I have my notes. Usually we have a big awards dessert, but that's not happening, so we're doing it tonight. We submitted recordings, virtual festival recordings, to the MSBOA District Band Festival this year. They had 2 opportunities to submit recordings, one in March and one in May, just in case students were able to put something together later in the school year. And as a judge, I can tell you, I saw some pretty amazing feats across the state. People that had large ensembles that couldn't fit on their stage, so they had the kids in the auditorium in the seats playing throughout the house, and the masks and the bell covers that you see your kids working with right now too. So some pretty amazing constraints, and still able to produce some really great music despite the challenges. Musicians persevere, man. If we're given an opportunity to play, we're gonna do it. Just like marching band. Rain, fine. Fog at lights out, adds to the ambiance. So we submitted recordings for the festival, and we were very successful with our performance ratings. So the JV band you just heard, our orchestra and our symphonic band received straight first division ratings from all 3 of their judges. Our concert band, yes, congrats. Concert band was very close. They had all A's and B's, 2 2s and a 1, so it was a split second division, but it was a split. So super proud of the group sitting behind me as well. So we have medals for our students. So we're going to take just a minute to actually present awards to kids for something that they were able to accomplish in the pandemic. So Mr. D is coming along the front sideline with medals for symphonic band and JV in just a minute. And I'm going to hand out concert band. Here we go. All right, back to some music. I gave Mr. D the harder job. He's got to hit twice the number of students. He's younger, he can move faster. So concert band is sitting before you. This is 10th through 12th grade students. Their musical theme this year was sea shanties. Evidently TikTok had a whole big sea shanty thing going on. So why not play the music? Because it's really great music. They did a piece called Sea Trilogy for Festival. And you heard that on the collage concert recording that we put out in March. We also did this Russian Sailor's Dance, which we're going to open with here in a second. And then for this concert, they worked up a piece called Into the Storm, which is a musical depiction of sailing through a hurricane. Kind of like the year, right? There's a beautiful chorale in the middle that sort of depicts the eye of the storm, the calm, and you think everything is great, and then it goes back to chaos again. So it's a really cool piece of music and lots of fun to play. Again, we're welcoming some guest players. I'm going to do some flute and piccolo on this one. Mr. D is going to play a little trumpet. Mr. Red, he's going to sit in on trombone. Percussion, I think we're all good, aren't we? Nice. Well, Shay's a trumpet player, but he's covering some stuff too. So, you know, we just got inventive. I love it. I had something brilliant to say and then I completely lost it. I know what it was, the hurricane. In addition to weathering COVID this year. Nobody's laughing at my jokes anymore. That's the right answer. See, symphonic band is always good for me. We've had a beautiful construction project going on. It's just unbelievable what our kids are getting to do. If you've been in the high school just a few years ago, you wouldn't recognize large pieces of it. And I can't wait for you to get into the buildings and see what your kids are going to be able to learn, and if they're not graduating right now, it's just awesome. But you know, there was one day where just the ceiling disappeared in the school. The kids were like, oh, so there's no ceiling now. That's cool. I told them they're so resilient that if there was a river flowing down the band hallway, they would go like, oh, so now there's water. All right, we'll wade through that. Nothing has fazed them. They just keep doing what they're supposed to do. So parents, good work on telling your kids to just, you know, stiff upper lip and keep going, because they have. The band room is getting a complete renovation this summer. Super exciting. Also pretty terrifying because it has to be completely empty by like next Thursday. And that room is full of 30 years full of stuff. So we've made some great progress. Mr. D, his first couple of weeks was a trooper. I think we threw out his bag more than once trying to get stuff out of that room, but it's pretty amazing. All of the plaques from the walls that date back to like the 1940s are packed safely in a box for installation again next year once the renovation is done. So pretty cool stuff. But Into the Storm just seemed like the appropriate piece to play right now. We're gonna start with, looks like he's finished. We're gonna start with the Russian Sailor's Dance. Again, we played this for our festival. It's a fan favorite, so here we go. Time for some more awards. Every time this year, our students vote on who is going to be their next band council for 21-22. So we have a fabulous little procedure. I'm going to have this year's band council come up right in front of me here. Line up, band council, just come on up and line up, the current band council, and grab your keys off the table. We're going to do the passing of the keys. Just have to find the right page. So the passing of the keys started a long time ago. I actually had a student make the keys for us. And every officer is going to receive a pin for their varsity letter to signify their office. And I'm going to announce the replacements right now. The students don't know. And then once I announce our replacements, I'm going to have you come up and join these guys so you can get your new key. Tradition of student leadership is key to our program. This is a huge team effort. And once this team is in place, regardless of who's at the helm, the system works. So thank you, students, for all of your work. You've been awesome. And a drum roll. Good work, kids. Good work. They're still trying to get their music out. All right, first we had our drum major auditions just a few days ago, and I'm happy to present this year's drum majors, Cole Bozong and Araya Bremby. Cole's graduating. Congratulations. They are passing their key to Araya Bremby, who will be senior drum major, and Miss Allison Skookseth, Isabella Labzu, and Gracie Cruz. Congratulations, ladies. This year's color guard captain is Danielle Bursach, and she is also graduating. Come on up, Danielle, if you want to give them a quick hug. She is being replaced by two. Our color guard captains for next year will be Cassidy Lake and Katie Cameron. They also vote for Most Improved, Most Valuable, and the Color Guard Miss Sunshine Award. And there's nothing to give to you except public thanks. So our Color Guard Most Improved is Gabrielle Desjardins, percussionist and first-year guard member. Color Guard MVP was Shemily Emily Hain, who also won the Little Miss Sunshine Award. So thanks for brightening our day on that. Normally the color guard captains have a flag and they pass the torch and there's a speech and there's a lot of crying, and we're not doing that. Surprise! For historian, this year Molly Ramos has been our historian. I know she's put together a beautiful band video for our kids to see in a very short amount of time. She is being joined with Leah Smith. Leah Smith, congratulations, you are our 21-22 historian. Come on up, Leah. There's a key somewhere for you. We'll find it. Uniform manager this year was Gabrielle Hurtubise. We didn't wear uniforms, but she cleaned out the closet, which was a hard job. So she still gets some shout outs. She's going to pass on her job to two, Brianna and Kylie Peterson, twin sisters. Yay, Peterson. The librarian position, which is just really getting comfortable with the copy machine. This year's librarians were Aspen Duffield and JC Taylor. And Aspen is graduating, going to CMU, hopefully marching in the CMU band, Fire Up Chips. And she is passing her position to JC Taylor for re-electment, along with Cassidy Lake. 2 librarians. Our equipment managers had a really easy job this year because we had 0 road trips. And they didn't have to load the van with the trailer, which is good because our trailer is really not in great shape. But thanks to the Greenville Area Community Foundation, we got a grant for a brand new band trailer. $18,000. Unfortunately, the company we got the bid from is, because of COVID, really backed up in construction, so they can't produce that item for over a year. So I'm currently searching for another place to purchase a 24-foot custom trailer. Stay tuned. I can pull that off in the next 8 days, right? Our equipment managers for next year, this year were Don Nash and Trevor McCurdy. Trevor is graduating and moving on to brighter fields. Yeah. McCurdy. Don is going to keep his position and be joined by Carter Chapman. Congrats. 2 more offices, and then I have to give the pins out to the retiring officers. Our secretaries this year were Dita Hansen and Emily Hain, and this is going to Molly Ramos. And finally, our man out front, our captain, Michael Huckleberry, is giving his key to Miss Araya Bremby. Congratulations. First time the whole band has been together all year. They're having way too much fun. We have not had a 9 through 12 experience yet, so I'm thrilled. Next, if you are a 3-year member of the Greenville program, the Greenville Band program, you receive a varsity letter. So this is more fodder for your open house boxes that you're getting ready. Every year I say this, and I'm going to say it again. If I have forgotten your name, this is your opportunity to say, Mrs. Gould, you forgot me in front of all of these people. Do not be shy. Step forward. But I proofread it like 3 times. Still no promises. So if you've had 2.5 to 3 years in the Greenville bands, I want you to line up along the sideline here. This is in reverse alphabetical order. For many years I was a W and I was always last. JC Taylor, Chase Stearns, Josh Snyder, Leah Smith, Allison Skugsepp, Lucas Rumler, Luchina Robertson, Alexis Rectenois, Molly Ramos, Kylie Peterson, Brianna Peterson, Ashley Parsons, Gavin Nowicki, Brendan Nash, Celeste Moore, Sarah Milam, Cassidy Lake, McKenna Johnson, Zachary Houghton, Avery Helder, Aaron Hefner, Nathaniel Green, Christopher French, Parker Foote, Noah Dungan, Gabrielle Desjardins, Sarah Dempsey, Evelyn Coral, Ashton Hodling, Carter Chapman, Andrew Caswell, Blaise Carpenter, Katie Cameron, Araya Bremby, and Jada Averill. This is the class of 2022. I do have the other four in school. Congratulations again. This is a huge and talented class. All right, get your pictures. Let's make some more music. So Symphonic Band has worked up 4 pieces for you tonight, and there are also the seniors that are involved in this group are also playing in 1 piece, 2 pieces actually, tomorrow night at the orchestra concert. We tried to do a little symphonic experience for those graduates, and we know next year's seniors will get a bigger experience. We actually just confirmed with the Grand Rapids Symphony next year that the symphony will be coming here in May, on May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo, for a side-by-side with our high school symphony orchestra. So something to look forward to next year. It's really exciting. We were supposed to do that 2 years ago. We're going to start this band off with their march from the festival music, and we selected it for a couple of reasons. First of all, we have a really, really outstanding percussion section, which I'm going to call attention to in just a minute. And this piece is very challenging for them. And second of all, I'm just going to read to you the composer's dedication to this march so you know what it's all about. Xerxes takes its name from Xerxes the Great, king of Persia, from 485 to 465 BC. The music, unexpectedly, is a concert march, whereas most marches for concert band, or at least the ones with I'm familiar, are cheerful and in many cases patriotic, usually American or British. This composer wanted to write a sort of anti-march, an angry, nasty march that still follows the traditional structure that one would expect from a military march. So Xerxes, as the music hopefully suggests, was one of your nastier rulers, even by ancient standards. His claim to fame was invading and burning Athens to the ground. Xerxes was assassinated by Artabanus, who in turn was murdered by Xerxes' son, Artaxerxes I. What a lovely story. It was, to put it lightly, a violent time. What better subject for a march? We had a lot of pent-up frustration. All of us did, and this was an excellent therapeutic way to get it all out. So you're about to hear a very loud, very angry Xerxes. for something completely different. We're going to play something called Serenade for a Picket Fence. Mr. Ayers introduced me to this song a few years ago. It's something from the 1950s that's not supposed to correlate, but it just sort of sounded good that way. I'm sorry. It's a piece written for xylophone solo and band accompaniment. Turn a xylophone up on its edge, it looks a little bit like a picket fence. That's the nickname for the instrument. And this is going to feature all of our percussionists on mallet equipment. It's a super cute little tune. Before we play that, I want to give our solo and ensemble students a shout out. We were able to still do Solo and Ensemble Festival this year. We usually have 40 to 50 events go. This year we just had 10 because of the pandemic, but all 10 received first division ratings. They all got ones from their judges. Can I have those of you that went to S&E and Symphonic Band please stand up and wave. Nicole Gale, freshman clarinet solo, and you can't see the string bass duet. Isabella played a cello solo. Some really great stuff. And the percussion quintet, which you heard in the collage concert montage, received a nomination for Outstanding Ensemble from the judges for the state. So that percussion ensemble really shined. I'm super proud of that. They've already gotten their medals. I don't have to pass out any awards for that. So we're going to continue with Serenade for a Picket Fence. The class of 2021 has had enough. They are done. They are ready to get out of here. Thursday night, we're going to play for them all again, play them across the stage, play them in and out of the stadium. I'm so excited to celebrate their graduation. But before we do that, we have a plaque for them. So students that have been involved in the band program for 4 full years get a plaque. I'm just going to read their names and have them walk up so you can see them. Parents, this is the best time to get some pictures. The lighting's just perfect. I'm also stalling. All right. Again, in alphabetical reverse order, our Eagle Scout, Charlie Weinheimer. Come on down, Charlie. Charlie's going to Michigan State. Go there. Next up, we have trumpet player extraordinaire, gamer, Shay Wagner. Esports captain. Next up, we have Avery Van Hoos, headed to Loyola in Chicago, one of our percussionists. Come on down, Avery. I've known this one since birth because her birthday's 10 days after my son's, my fellow golf partner and Spartan, soon to be, Sarah Stevenson. Another saxophone player, Mr. Andrew Porter. Come on down. Fellow car enthusiast and trumpet player, Corbin Olson. Our outgoing equipment manager, Mr. Trevor McCurdy, also percussionist. Next up, we have our resident piano man and percussionist, Mr. Dylan Lake. Miss Gabrielle Hurtubise, French horn, trombone, low brass section leader, and headed to South for college. Super excited. There we go. Savannah, that's the one I wanted to come up with. Also heading south for college to Georgia, Miss Emily Hewitt, percussionist. Next up is our band captain, future Spartan, hopefully Michigan State Marching Band. Auditions are coming up very soon, submitted electronically, Michael Huckleberry. Next we have French horn player, trumpet player, color guard captain, and the 8th of the Hanson family. Like Professor Slughorn, I've collected the whole set. Dita Hanson. Next up we have the beautiful Miss Emily Haynes, saxophone player, color guard member, Little Miss Sunshine. You're about to see this woman's wicked percussion skills on the drum set, and if you went to see the Odyssey, you heard her original soundtrack, composed and performed by this one. This is Miss Rachel Jernick. I could not compose the soundtrack to an hour-long play when I was a senior in high school. She has my awe and respect. Next up, future Chippewa. There you go, Mr. Ayers. Aspen Duffield, piccolo, flute. Hopefully fire up chips. Like the Hansons, I've collected the whole set here. This is Danielle Bursach, the youngest Bursach, our redheaded, beautiful color guard captain and clarinet player. This is our resident thespian and drum major, Mr. Cole Bozung, and drummer. Run up, Cole, run, run. Odysseus himself to the front row. And finally, tenor sax player, fantastic dancer, 12 years in the Fear River Dance Company. I missed that one in the program typo, sorry. Yikes, it's Flat River. But this is Dakota Antcliffe. Auto-corrected in a wrong order. Competitive dance creative. Congratulations, 2021. You've been through a lot, and you're amazing. And we love you. Back to John Mackey. This is the same composer that created Xerxes that you heard just a few minutes ago. Also another challenge for our percussion section. If I've learned nothing in 30 years of teaching, it's that if your drummers are busy, they don't create mischief. As soon as they're not busy, then I gotta watch out. So we kept them really busy. This one's called Undertow. And quite honestly, audience, I am not sure how this is gonna go outside, spread out in the wind. It's mixed meter. Every other measure is different, 7/8 to 4/4. So it sounds like you're out of step all the time, like a new marcher that just can't quite find the pulse. It's unstable. It's another tribute, musically, metaphorically, to this school year. So typical John Mackey writing highlights the percussion. I'm sorry we can't do the ensembles for you. We have just too many kids that are out. We are going to put some percussion ensembles on video and upload them to the Performing Arts website later this week. We did snag a quick recording of the freshman percussion ensemble and the concert band percussion ensemble right before we flipped at the end of April. So we'll put those together. I'm covering a couple spots in there. Please forgive my skills. And we'll put it together again, the shock factor from this band, so you guys can see your drummers. I apologize that we can't put them together for tomorrow night. Just really proud of the work they did. So on with Undertow. I had every score memorized with this one, so I'm going to attempt to try to use this and see if it blows across the field into the tunnel. I'll just follow the kid. one left. Before we finish, I was told by my husband that I needed to say a few words. So I'm gonna try to keep it short because I get kind of emotional and sentimental. So this has to be quick. I signed my contract to teach in Greenville May 10th, so a week ago, 1991. Ooh, none of these guys were born. I was only 21 years old when I signed that contract. And I'm positive that I made at least 10,000 mistakes those first few years, but thank goodness, people were kind and forgiving. And I had huge visions for the program, and with the support from Keith Hudson and Charlotte Lothian, and colleagues that were just so supportive, they helped me get there. In 5 years, we doubled the enrollment in the bands and orchestras at the high school. JV Band was created in 1997 to prevent 190 kids from being in the marching band room with me alone. That seemed a little daunting. We hired Jeff Ayers to team teach the high school bands and the middle school bands in 97. And I planned our first overseas trip to France, and then we hired Mr. Ayers, and then surprise, I got pregnant with our first. So on my maternity leave, I left Mr. Ayers with this whole, we're gonna go to France my first year of teaching kind of thing. So he still forgave me for it, and it was a fabulous trip. We were planning on more overseas trips, and that was right before September 11th, so things stayed domestic, and we started the Disney trip every 4 years, and then most recently we took the kids to New York City. So a lot of these guys, wave if you got a chance to go to New York with us, just a couple years ago. So that's been fantastic. Let's see where it was, because I just walked off track. Imagine that, kids. We had some budget cuts in 2005 that reduced our instrumental staff back to just 2 people. Mr. Ayers continued the high school jazz band, took over at the middle school, and Mr. Hudson retired. And so I've been kind of on my own at the high school since '05. But not really, because we meet all the time as a staff, as I alluded to earlier. I've just been so fortunate to spend my whole career here in one place. Some of you were my students, which is just crazy that I've had your kids in my band. So my decision to retire from teaching was made shortly after my son was born. I thought, it'll be my 30th year. He'll graduate from high school. I think I'll graduate with him, follow him to college, and get my PhD. He's not up for that, by the way. That's not in his plan. No, I was not going to go to college with him, but maybe one of these days I'll go ahead and get that PhD in ed leadership I always thought about. So you're going to be in great hands next year with Miss Grace Wolf. I'm excited for you to have a younger, more elastic brain. She's a graduate of Saline High School, which is down by Ann Arbor, and she chose that other school for her undergraduate. That's that Gould Blue School that Cole keeps giving me a hard time about. I know. She taught for 4 years in Birmingham, so her first job out was in a Detroit suburb, and then spent the last 2 years in graduate school in Chicago at Northwestern, which is an incredibly competitive program. They don't take very many graduate students. She's studying with Dr. Mallory Thompson, which to us in the band world is like, studying with Mallory Thompson. She's sort of well-known worldwide for conducting skills in her pedagogy. So you guys are going to be in great hands with a really well-trained and fun person. I've had a chance to speak to her a couple times. Her sense of humor is wicked and right there with you, so I think it's going to be great. It's been a pleasure, and thank you very much. We're going to bring Mr. D back up to conduct Jitterbug, and I'm going to play the new Barry sax, which was part of this huge grant that is attached to the construction process. And because I want to, because I like playing Barry sax.
To thank Susan for her years of service. I don't know if many of you know, but she is the longest serving band and orchestra director in Greenville's history. She has spent all 30 years, as she has talked about here. She has been exploring lots of things, and she's retired from teaching, but not from working. So she's going to head in and help with Meyer Music and continue with educating students in the area of music. And on behalf of the school district and the Board of Education, we just wanted to thank Susan for all of her years of service. Susan, we couldn't have asked for a better one.
Thank you, and thank you, and thank you. And I need to thank Charlothian for starting an endowment. There's a Susan Gould Music Fund through the our Greenville Area Community Foundation, designed to provide students with future music opportunities. So should you feel willing to contribute, if you want to do something like that, please give Amy and Allison a call over at GACF, and they'll hook you right up. I'm honored that she's done that for me. Another really touching gift, and I'll open the box later. Thank you very much. I appreciate it so much. All right, we're going to do some Jitterbug, which is an original composition. It's a jazzy tune. It sounds like a million different things, but it's not. It's actually original. So, Mr. D? not sure if this is.
It is on. Okay, so we got a little surprise. We just gotta wait a second. As you see, we have some alumni from many, many years that have decided to join us tonight from band and orchestra. I'm not really sure. I don't check Facebook that often. But yeah, I am very happy with how this came together. I know people who had a big role in this, Mrs. Allen, Courtney DeCrocker, thank you guys so much for putting this together. And I'm so glad you cried. I love it. I'm so happy you're happy. It's very great.